Hello, and welcome to Amnesia, the game where a person wakes up, they have no idea who they are or where they are or what their situation is, and they have to try and figure out what is going on. My name is Shannon Nicholson. I will be the GM for tonight, and with me I have Brittany Nicholson, my lovely wife, who will be the player for tonight.
Hello, I am wife.
Now, of course, this is from Woodcarver Gaming, who craft lovely little dice trays, which we'll be using.
I have one too.
You do. Wonderful. So yes, we'll be using that. For those of you who haven't seen this stream before, as I said, the person has no idea who they are, and they'll be trying to work out their situation. They'll basically say, I want to do this. If it's going to be a bit of a difficult task, then I will ask them to roll. And I will also roll a dice and then compare the two numbers, and then the average will be the outcome of that dice roll. So even if they roll low, they still have a chance to succeed in whatever it is they want to do. All right. Shall we begin?
Yes.
Before you black out completely, or as you're waking up, the last thing you can remember is that you're a bit of a mischievous person.
A bit of a trickster, am I?
So as you're coming to, you can feel a slight breeze through the air, the sound of rustling trees, and in the distance, the faint smell of the ocean. As you open your eyes and look around, you're surrounded by trees everywhere. There's a bit of grass underneath you. And it appears to be daytime.
Mm-hmm.
The sun shining brightly above you.
I would like to look at myself. What am I wearing? Can I get any clues from that?
Okay, so you look down. You realise you are a woman. Your clothes are a bit dishevelled and ripped. You've basically got a white shirt on and tan pants, and some black boots on.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's sort of ripped and dishevelled, and you feel a bit damp as well.
Okay. What sort of style of clothing is it? Is it like a big puffy sort of pirate shirt? Is it quite a slim fit?
No, it's sort of a bit puffy. It's a puffy shirt.
All right. Can I see anyone around?
As you look around, no, you don't see anyone, but I will get you to roll a d6 for me.
Ooh. 4.
Nice. So, as you look around, you don't see anybody, but what you do notice is that there seems to be a small little altar that's nearby, but there do look to be footprints in the area that are like not around you.
Okay. I'd like to approach the altar and see if there's any clues that might be on or in or around it.
Okay, no worries. I'll get you to roll a d4 for me.
D4. 4.
Excellent. Yeah, you're very good with rolls, aren't you? So as you look at the altar, there appears to be a carving of like a monkey.
A monkey?
A monkey, and it's holding like what looks like a stone above its head, and it looks like inside its eyeballs there used to be something in there, but they're sort of been poked out, sort of thing. So it looks like something used to fit inside the eyeballs.
Now, the footprints that are nearby, are they leading toward the altar or away from the altar?
They appear to be not near the altar.
Okay.
So only you appear to be near the altar. The other footprints are a little bit away, but they also lead away, so they haven't been near you.
Okay. Maybe I'll follow the footprints.
Yeah? You follow the footprints? All right, I'll get you to roll a d6 again for me.
5.
Okay. So you're walking through the foresty sort of area, and something feels a little off as you're walking through the forest. It's a beautiful day out. It's shiny. It's wonderful. And it feels like it should be a very nice day, but the breeze is almost non-existent. It's a slight breeze, and there's no wind moving the trees. And even though the sun is shining bright, there's not a lot of light. Everything seems very dim and drab, and almost as if everything's kind of stale. As you follow the footprints further, they seem to be, you can hear the sound of the ocean coming more and more closer to you as
so I'm
follow
going
the footprints.
Towards the ocean. Mm-hmm. Can I see anything yet?
I'll get you to roll a d8 for me, please.
7. I'm so sorry.
So, before you see anything, you notice a sort of putrid smell, and you can kind of hear noises off in the distance, such as
Minecraft zombie. Can I go toward? Or do I have any weapons on me?
No. You can check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Do I? Can I check myself?
Yeah. Check yourself. So as you check yourself before you wreck yourself, you don't have any weapons. The only thing you do find is a small purple shard of what looks to be like a gem in your pocket.
Would it be approximately the size to fit into that altar?
No, they were round. This is like a sharp little, as if it's been broken off. And it appears to be bigger than the hole itself anyway. So whatever it did fit, bigger. It wouldn't be that.
Okay. Well, you said there were trees nearby. Can I at least sort of break off a branch or something to try and use as a staff?
Sure. I'll get you to roll d6 again.
2.
So you find what looks to be like a sturdy tree. So grab a branch, and you're pulling with all your might. No luck, but you give it one last yank and you peel off like a really long strip of bark instead of the branch.
I guess I have a whip. All right, well, I will keep moving toward the noise then.
Okay. How are you going to move towards the noise?
I'm going to try and stealth it. I don't want them to see me, if possible.
All right, I'll get you to roll d4 for me.
D4?
Yes.
4.
Okay, nice. So as you sort of stealthily going through the woods, getting closer to the sound, the trees sort of part and the sun, so you can see the ocean and the beach where the noise is coming from. And on the beach, you can see about 7 people. 7 people. They appear to be just shuffling along the beach. Not really doing anything, just sort of mindlessly wandering around the beach.
This sounds like zombies. Are they zombies? Do they look dead?
Roll a d4 for me.
4.
So yes, as you look at these people or zombies, they are zombies. You notice that, the flesh is sort of rotting off them. They're very skeletal-like with flesh over them and just shuffling along. But you'll also notice on them that they are dressed as sailors. Some have clubs, some have swords still attached to their belts. One appears to actually be holding their sword and dragging along the ground. But they just seem to be mindlessly wandering around the beach for the moment.
Is there, if I look up and down the beach, is there anything else along the beach?
I'll get you roll d6. 4. So as you look along the beach, you can see lots of planks and a few washed up barrels, and over towards a giant cliff, you can actually see the backside of what appears to be a ship that's just sticking straight up into the ocean, like it's crashed into the rocks.
I think I'd like to go toward the ship. Will I have to go past the zombies to get to that, though?
The zombies are quite spread out. It does look to be a path, but it does run past.
Okay, so there's a chance they could spot me.
Yeah, I mean, but by the looks of it also there's a lot of jagged rocks around the ship, so it would be hard to get to the ship.
You said the zombies are quite spread out. Could I potentially try and steal a weapon from one of them? Like the one that was dragging the sword? Is there any nearby that one?
No, he's sort of off to the right. So he's sort of at the end of the line. So he is quite by himself.
May I try and sneak up on him and tie him up with my little bark whip rope thing?
Yep. Okay. All right. Cool. I'll get you to roll. Let's go a D10.
D10.
To do everything at once.
Is 0 going to be 0 or 10?
10.
Okay, just checking. It's a 0.
Of course it is.
I don't have control.
Oh, that's hilarious, though.
We know that I roll dice well.
You are. This is the game for you. All right. So as he's sort of shuffling around, you've managed to time it. As he's sort of turning around, you've snuck around behind him. You've gotten your strip of bark and you hooked it around him and tied it around his arms. Mm-hmm. And you've managed to get a knot out of it. Somehow you've managed to knot the bark. And the zombie is there just going, and it's trying to turn around towards you. It does drop the sword.
Okay. May I try and sort of keep one hand on the knot, but also bend down and grab the sword with the other hand?
Sure. I'll get you to roll d6 for that one.
1.
Oh.
Just after we said how good I am at rolling dice.
Right. So you've bent down. You've got your hand on the strip of bark that's tying the zombie together, and you're sort of leaning down as the zombie's sort of turning around. You've grabbed the sword on the ground, but as you've twisted this hand a little bit too much, and the bark's actually broken. So now the zombie is fully turning around on you.
I think I'd like to... I don't want to outright murder it straight away, but I would like to just have the sword in a defensive pose just in case it tries to lunge.
Okay. All right. I'll get you to roll a d6 for me.
2. Darn it.
All right. So you haven't outrightly wanted to kill this zombie. So you've gone. He's basically coming on you, and you're like, ah! And as you've gone to defend yourself, you've actually skewered his head.
Damn it.
And you're like, oh, and your sword is now stuck in his head.
Okay. How's he reacting to this?
Well,
being a zombie, he's probably not dying.
Well, he's gone, and your sword's gone through his head, and he's just gone.
Okay, so he's
He's
just not reacting. Okay.
He's dead. Yeah.
Can I try and get the sword back out of his head?
Yep. So you sort of give it a shake and everything, and yeah, you eventually do get it out.
Did any of the other zombies see?
I was just about to say, I'll get you to roll D12 for me.
3.
3?
3.
So, as you sort of jiggling the sword out of the dead zombie's head, you've pulled it out, and you've gone, ha ha! A little bit too loudly. And the other 3 zombies that were around have stopped in their tracks and turned around and are now shuffling towards you.
Okay. What weapons do these zombies have?
There's one that's carrying a club. He's sort of dragging it along.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 2 has swords. Actually, no, one has a sword, which is still in its sheath, and the other one just has an empty sheath. It doesn't have any weapon on it.
Okay. What do I want to do? All right, I might stand my ground, keep the sword with me. How long do I have? Do I have time to check if there's anything in the dead zombies' pockets?
Look, they were quite evenly, like they were quite spaced out. So I'd say you've probably got about 30 seconds before
I might just
they sort of get close.
Quick pat down of the dead zombie, just see if there's possibly anything, but not too thorough. Don't get too distracted. Keep one eye out.
All right. So I'll get you to roll a d6 for me.
1. You did this. It's because we were talking about it.
So as you're panning through the zombies' pants and everything, you feel something in the pants, and so you sort of quickly go in to get it and pull something out, and you hear a snap. And you pull it out, and you realise you've just pulled out part of his leg bone.
Oh no! Well, I guess that's my offhand weapon now. Alright, how close is this next zombie? Can I take this one out?
It's quite close now. It's probably about 5 feet away.
Which one's this? This is the club?
Yeah, this is the club.
Uh-huh.
So he's quite close. He just keeps walking towards you. You can sort of see he's
defensive pose.
Slightly trying to raise his club.
Alright. If he's trying to raise his club, can I try and cut the sword low, sort of stomach height?
Yeah.
Although really I should aim for the head, shouldn't I? It's a zombie. I'll try and aim for the head. You said he's going slow.
Aim for the head again. Let's go D6 again.
6. 3.
3. All right, so as he sort of raises, he's still trying to raise his club. You've gone in for a swing. However, you were trying to aim for his head, but you were a bit too low. So you've gotten his shoulder, but the way you were swinging it, you sort of got his shoulder, and it sort of pushed him off balance, and he's sort of stumbling away. So you haven't killed him, but he's stumbling away a bit, and the other 2 are still coming towards you.
All right. Has he fallen or just off balance?
He's just sort of off balance.
All right. Can I try and get another swipe at his head then?
Yep. All right.
Possibly even like push him even more off balance with the bone in my left hand so that my sword can get him in the head.
Okay, cool. I'll get you to roll a d8 for this one.
D8. 3.
So...
I was going to say, is this how you feel all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. You do that, so he's sort of off balance, and you get the bone and you whack him a bit more, and he sort of spins around a bit more, and then your sword comes through and you sort of bring it down and chop his head off.
Okay.
So his body sort of stumbles off, but his head is now on the ground, but it's still quite active, his head. It's still going...
I feel like it should be easier to just stab him in the head now. So I'm going to try that again.
Yeah, you stab him in the head.
Okay, good.
I will get you to roll a d4, though.
No. 3.
Okay, as you stab him in the head, you hear something right behind you.
Oh, no!
But you've managed to sort of realize in time, and you've managed to sidestep away just as the other zombie was coming up right behind you.
Can I sort of do a turn and swing with my sword? Try and get from where I can just hear that other zombie.
Yeah. Let's go D8.
8?
8.
1. No.
So your swing was very low.
Okay.
You have managed to hit him, but you've managed to sort of half cut off one of his legs.
Okay.
So he's got a big gash in his leg, but it has slowed him down quite significantly because every time he sort of takes a step, it's sort of throwing him off balance.
Can I sort of try and kick him in the torso, get him completely off balance, knock him down?
Yep. Get your roll d6 for this one.
1 again. What have you done?
So you do manage to kick him, but as you kick him, your foot gets stuck in his chest.
Dang it.
And you sort of topple over with him.
Okay, so I'm sort of standing on / in him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, it should be pretty easy for me to stab him in the head from this position.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want me to roll?
No. That's. I mean, you are pretty much on top of him, and your foot in his chest. So
the club one's dead. What was that one? Does he have a weapon?
He had a sword still in its sheath, so he didn't have it.
Okay, so that was the one that did have a sword, and then the other one doesn't have a weapon at all.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Can I replace my bone with his sword and just double wheel?
Yep. So you do that.
Excellent. All right. How close is this other one? Can I see him?
Yeah, he's like a couple of feet away now.
Okay.
As you pulled out the other sword.
Okay. I would like to attack him with my main sword.
Yep. All right, I'll get you a roll d4 for this.
4?
You got 2 swords.
2.
2? Yep. So you get him one sword, and it sort of gets him in the throat, and it cuts off half his throat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring through your other sword, and it chops the rest of his head off.
Okay. But he's not dead?
No, his mouth is still like.
Okay. I'd like to stab him in the head, please.
Okay, you stab him in the head.
All right. So none of the other zombies saw any of that. They're further down the beach.
They're further away. They haven't caught wind of this yet.
Okay. I would like to search the. Well, I'll say all 4 zombies because I only sort of searched the first one.
Okay, so you'll research the first one and hopefully not take a bone out of his body.
I'll be a bit more thorough this time.
Alright, because you're searching on 4, let's roll D8.
Oh.
Okay. So as you're searching the bodies, you find some little odd bits and ends. You find a compass, which is still working. And as you look at it, you realise the beach is to the south of the island. You find some other little knickknacks like coins, a bit of parchment, but you can't read it. It's all damp and wet, and it's illegible now. And yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just go toward the other zombies because I don't really know that there's much else to do.
All right. As you sort of walk towards the other zombies, something flashes in your head. So this image is you're in the kitchen of a ship. You're preparing some meals for the crew when you hear a knock at the door frame. And it's the captain of the ship. He's 6 foot high, big, long, black beard. And he's got a scar across his right eye.
He doesn't look similar to any of the zombies, does he?
No.
Okay.
And he's dressed in like this big, giant, bright purple coat.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting along? Hope the crew is making you feel welcome. Walks over and has a bit of the soup that you're preparing. Delicious. Even a tiny taste of this, it's the best cooking this ship has had for a long time. Bring some to me cabin when you're done. He walks out and your memory fades.
Indeed. All right. I guess I'll keep going toward the zombies.
Yeah.
Can I see anything else around? Is it just zombies and that ship?
Yeah, it's just like shipwreck sort of stuff, planks, barrels, and yeah. And how many did you kill? 4?
I've killed 4 so far.
Yeah,
There's
so
3
there's
left.
3 left.
I'm keeping track. I have my notes.
You are. Yeah. Glad
What
one of
weapons
us
do the other 3 have? I should take notes. So closest one to me has...
The closest one to you has a sword as well. The one after that has like a hatchet. And the other one appears to be holding a pistol. The very last one.
Okay. If I try and attack the one with the sword, will the next one probably be alerted? Like, how close is he?
These ones appear to be a bit closer.
All right. Could I try and sort of sneak around?
Where are you wanting to go?
I just think it's better to try and take out the one with the pistol first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I'll get you to roll D6 for me.
3.
3. All right. So you've sort of tried to go around back into the forest and come back out. However, when you went into the forest, you went too far in, and you couldn't really see where you were going. And so you've come back out at a point, but you've come back out right at the middle one. And he's virtually like almost right in front of you now.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try and fight Hatchet Boy.
Yeah. All right. I'll get you to roll a D10 for me.
Oh, 10. Oh, no. Got a 1.
Oh, no! So as you've walked out, you're clearly not where you wanted to be.
Okay.
So you've walked out and the zombie with the hatchet is right in front of your face. So you've sort of gone, ah! However, somehow he knew you were there. So he already has his hatchet raised as you've walked out. You've managed to sort of almost sidestep his hatchet. It has clipped your arm a little bit.
Oh.
But you've managed to sort of get out of his way a bit as well.
Okay. Which arm did it hit?
Your left.
Okay.
And you've dodged to the right.
Is it enough that I couldn't use that arm, or it's still okay?
It's still all right, but
just not as fast as it used to be.
Yeah, it does sting.
All right. Could I try and hit him? If he's just gone down with his hatchet, surely if I've sidestepped, I could use my right hand to try and get him in the head.
Yep. Let's roll D6 for that one.
Got a 1 again.
Oh, no.
What have you done to me?
So, as you've done it, again, you're not good with aiming for the head at the moment. So what you've done, you've managed to sort of skewer his shoulder, and it's sort of come down through his shoulder and out his chest as you've sort of come in from behind as you've dodged. However, it does appear to be stuck.
Damn it. All right, I'm going to switch my left sword to my right hand. Try and get his head again. But also try and use my left hand to grab the other sword. So like a wah you know the wah motion.
Right. I think it's time to break out the D20 for this one.
Oh no. Oh. 16. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm good
bad.
at the wah.
Not bad. So you've managed to successfully switch hands, which is good. However, you've gone to go grab the sword in his back that's like sort of protruding out of his chest, but he's turning around too much, and you can't actually get that. Didn't see anything. And you can't actually reach that sword. As he's turning around too much. And it has caused you to retreat a little bit as well, because he does have a sword sticking out of his chest. And you've gone to swing, but it sort of cut his face, but didn't chop anything off.
All right.
And now he's sort of advancing towards you yet again with his hatchet raised.
All right. Can I... Because he's quite slow, isn't he?
Yes.
Can I try and dodge and try and get behind him again? I'd rather use my quickness than strike again.
All right, I'll get you all D4 for that.
4. 1.
So you've gone to try and be quite nimble, so you sort of strafing around him. However, you haven't been watching your footing. So you sort of slip over a rock or trip over
Damn
a
it.
rock. And now you tried to go around, but you're sort of in the forest now, on the very edge of the forest, on the ground. And he's slowly turning around towards you.
I think I've just sort of got a defensive pose. What kind of sword is it? Is it double-edged?
No, it's sort of like a cutlass.
Okay, so I can use my left hand to just sort of brace the back of the blade and defensive pose.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and stop the hatchet from getting to me.
Okay. I'll get you to roll a d8 for me.
Oh, I'm so worried. 5.
Okay.
It's not
Cool.
the worst I've rolled today.
No. It's quite good. So as he's come down with the hatchet, you've stopped it. And as you sort of look down, you actually notice like a couple of inches away from your stomach is actually the sword that's protruding from his
no!
head. So you're trying to hold him off like that, and there's also a sword aiming straight towards you as well.
Can I try and knock him off balance, sort of to the side?
Yeah? Let's go d6 for that.
Two.
So you do manage to sort of get him, but as you do, you sort of had to heave up against him, which has caused you to go up a bit. And it didn't like impale you, but did sort of scratch you up and cut you up a bit as you flung him off.
Like my arm, just a bit sore. Still function.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
But I have gotten him off?
You have gotten him off.
Alright, can I try and get back to a standing position?
Yeah, you can get up to a standing position.
Right.
No, you don't need to roll.
I'm up.
You're up.
Alright.
Well done.
Alright, I'll try and... What's he doing now? Is he coming back at me
Well,
again?
because you've sort of flung him, he's kind of actually on the ground now.
Okay. Alright, can I try and get him in the head? Is he on the ground enough that I can stab his head?
Yep. I'll get you to roll d4 for this, actually.
3.
Yep. You get him in the head.
Got him?
Quite
All
easily. Right. He was sort of flailing around, but you managed to sort of time it and go, whoop, stabbed him.
Alright. I need to look around and check for other zombies before I try and get my other sword back.
Mm-hmm. The other zombies don't appear to be doing anything.
Okay.
He appeared to have wandered off on his own.
Okay, so he sort of just came toward the forest.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, I'd like to try and get my sword back out of him.
Yep. Alright, roll a d6 for me.
6. 5.
Nice.
It doesn't matter.
So it takes a couple of yanks, but yeah, you pull it out cleanly.
Easy. Alright, so I will try and get back toward the... I'd like to go sneaky toward Pistol Boy.
To which one?
Pistol.
Pistol? Pistol
Yes.
Boy? Sneaky
Pistol
sneaky?
Boy. Sneaky to the pistol.
Alright, let's go d8.
8.
8. Date.
8.
You've got a date with Pistol Boy.
5.
Okay, so as you're sort of walking towards him, you're about 5 feet away, and that's the point where he decides to sort of turn around.
Does he have the pistol out, or he's just...
Yes, the pistol is in his hand.
Okay.
So he sees you and he starts to raise the pistol.
Alright, can I try and sort of sword lunge to him? You said 5 feet.
Yep.
Alright. Sprint and lunge. Get closer as quickly as possible. And try and...
Let's go d6. I'm really liking the d6s tonight.
Is that because I keep getting 1s? I got a 1!
Oh, that's fun.
No, it's not!
So yes, as you've sort of run up and you've basically tried to dive at him, you've managed to stab him in the right shoulder, but he's got the pistol in his left hand. As you sort of collided with him, you do hear a click, but nothing happens.
Okay, so it's like waterlogged.
Okay. And so now you're on the ground on top of him with a sword plunged through his shoulder, and he's like trying to go.
All right. Can I use my other sword to stab him in the head?
Yeah, roll a d4.
1. How am I going to miss? How am I going to miss a head that's just on, like it's next to my foot?
So as you do, he does kind of move his head out of the way a little bit as he's sort of thrashing around. And your sword goes through it, and it's quite loose sand, so your sword actually goes right through the sand as well. And as he turns, he sort of bites your wrist a little. But you can sort of move that in sort of like a guillotine motion and chop his head off.
I would like to do that. Yes.
So yeah, you managed to do that.
All right. So that sword's still free.
Yep.
And I've still got my hand on the other sword.
Yep.
All right. I'd like to use the free sword to try and stab his head again.
Yep.
Now that it's detached.
All right. Yep, you can do that easily.
Lovely. All right. So last zombie, what they doing?
He's just still sort of walking around. He hasn't noticed anything.
Bill boy. All right. Can I just take a second to inspect the bite wound?
Mm-hmm.
Is there? Did it break skin? Is there anything I should do?
It did break skin.
No.
And it is bleeding a little.
All right. Can I try and wash it in ocean water? I don't know if that's going to help, but it seems to disinfect in real life.
Sure. You can do that. So yeah, you can go over. You go over to the ocean and you sort of wash it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll pick up my 2 swords again. Wait, which wrist did he bite? My left one again?
Yes.
Okay. Pick up my 2 swords, and I'll go back to the other zombie.
Yep. Roll a d4. So as you're walking up, he doesn't. Something sort of catches his attention, but he doesn't turn around.
Where's the attention coming from? My direction?
So it's sort of coming from the forest.
Where am I in relation to that?
Because you've gone to the ocean, so you've sort of circled around.
So I'm behind him.
Yeah, and so he was sort of walking along, and then suddenly something got his attention, and he looked up at the forest. So his attention is at the forest as you're coming up behind him.
How close am I?
3 feet.
Can I get close enough to use my blades and just get his head off?
Yep, you can do that automatically because he's distracted. So.
All right, easy. So his head is off. I would like to stab it.
Yep, you do so.
Cool, that's all of them. I did it. All right, what got his attention? Let me look at the forest.
So, I'll get you to roll a d6 for me.
4.
What was that?
4.
So you don't really see anything. You can't see anything that would have gotten his attention. You sort of wait there about a minute, just sort of staring off in that direction to see if something's moving, but nothing appears to be moving. But you can sort of sense something off in that direction.
Is that like the same sort of feeling I was getting about the weather, where it's just like a bit wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would like to search these 3 zombies that I've just killed.
Mm-hmm. Get you to roll D6 for me.
3.
3. So as you search the bodies, there's nothing really of importance. Another one of them has a compass. Another one actually has a small dagger as well. And again, you find a couple of coins, but nothing much. And a pouch. The one with the pistol had a pouch of gunpowder on him, but it's all completely soaked through.
Okay. Does the dagger have a holster or anything like that?
Yeah, it's sort of in like a leather thong sort of thing.
Okay. Can I keep that, tie that around me wherever? Thong, I'm assuming neck?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I guess I will go back toward the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Although I really do want to explore that ship. Can I get to the ship?
As you sort of look around, you notice that there is jagged sort of rocks everywhere, and it looks quite dangerous to get to.
All right, I'll go to the forest.
You go to the forest.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I'll get you to roll another D6 for me.
5.
5? Okay. So as you sort of walk into the forest, you can see quite large footprints leading off into the forest.
Large, still human-sized? Large
Yeah,
as in
still human-sized.
super-sized.
So
Okay.
whoever left these footprints was a big
Probably
boy.
just a large man.
Yeah.
Like similar size to the large captain that I remembered?
Quite possibly. And they appear to be heading off into the forest.
All right. Let's follow them.
Yeah? All right. Let's roll a D10, shall we?
7.
7? All right, so you follow the trail of the footprints for a bit. As you do, it's sort of getting twisted around and all that sort of stuff, and eventually you actually lose sight of the footprints. You've lost the trail, essentially. So you continue to sort of wander around a bit when you come into a clearing which has huts all around. There's about 4 or 5 huts. Doesn't appear to be anybody around. It's very...
There's no lights coming from any of the huts.
No, there's no fire. There's no light or anything. And everything appears to sort of be overgrown about it. It looks very abandoned.
So there was 4 huts?
5.
5. And do they have windows? Can I just sort of sneak a peek?
Yes, windows, it's sort of just like a hole.
Just an open hole, yeah.
So as you sort of, I guess you roll a D6 actually. I forget, I should make you
5.
All right, cool. So as you sort of walk around each of the huts and spend some time looking in through the windows, you see nothing odd about them. There's a bed. They're very basic. A bed, maybe like a little chest where stuff goes, and some skins of animals and everything. But one thing that is a little peculiar that each of them have is what appears to be also a little stone altar of the monkey holding that thing over its head.
Do these ones have anything where... Was it eyes where things have been taken out?
Yeah, so it was the eyes that had...
these ones,
no,
they've been taken too?
Yeah, they've also been taken.
Okay. Right. How's my vibe check? Like,
Your vibe check?
well, when I was in the forest, it felt wrong, and then when I looked back to the forest, it felt wrong. How do the huts feel? What vibe am I getting?
Again, it still feels very stale. And even though the sun is bright, it feels cold. It should be warm, but it's very damp and grey.
Am I already a zombie?
No.
I guess I'm fast.
Yeah. Like, if you're thinking that, you still have all proper motor functions and everything and all that.
All right. Well, I don't know. I want to just explore. Is there anything else weird about these huts? Outside the huts, around sort of the forest area, in this clearing bit?
You do notice that there are some etchings
Mhm.
around, and these appear to be of, again, like a stone sort of thing with lines coming off them, and then what appears to be people praying to this stone. And on one side there's people praying on the left hand side, and on the right hand side there are graves.
The graves have names on them? Can I figure out any, like...
No, because
say...
this is like a drawing, so it's
okay.
like...
Oh, a drawing. I see,
yeah,
sorry.
like etchings, yeah. Not, you don't see actual graves.
So there was etchings and then graves.
No,
Got
no. So there's etching of graves on this etching.
I don't know what to do. Where am I?
I'll get you to roll a d4 for me.
Ooh. 4!
Nice. As you're sort of looking at this etching, you hear some rustling coming off to the right, and the rustling appears to be coming closer and closer.
Can I get myself into a position where I'm mostly hidden but can still see where I think the rustling is coming from?
Yeah, so because the etching's sort of like on a rock, you can sort of duck behind the rock.
Okay.
So as you're sort of waiting behind the rock, you hear the rustling, and out pops this little old man, and he's got a stick, and he's sort of hobbling around. He's like, and and he starts messing around with the campfire that's in the middle of this little hut village sort of thing.
Did he start a campfire? Because you said there was no light.
He hasn't started a campfire, but he appears to be getting...
He's just building a fire pit. Okay. I think I'd just like to watch him for a little while. Try and get some information.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So as you're sort of watching him, he builds the campfire, he lights it up. And then he's sort of got like a little pouch in his he's got like a little robe, disheveled sort of little robe on. Pulls out some fish, sort of, you're watching him skin them, and he sort of chucks them on a stick and then puts them over the fire and starts cooking the fish. As you're sort of watching him, he sort of stops at one point and starts sniffing the air.
All right. I think I'd like to be wary. I think I'll still hold my weapons, but in sort of a defensive way, and try and introduce myself. Try and test the waters, see if he's friendly.
Okay. All right. As you sort of walk out, he doesn't turn around, but he goes, I was wondering when you would show yourself. Come on, come. Sit. The fish is almost done.
You knew that I'd be coming?
Well, I mean, everyone eventually finds themselves in this area, but I knew we'd run into each other eventually.
How do you know me?
I haven't the slightest idea who you are.
That's not helpful. Who are you?
Me? Oh, I'm just a poor little old man trying to survive the best he can.
Do you know where this is?
Oh, I've been here for so long. No. It was such a long time ago when I came here. How long has it been? How long has it been? No, it can't be that long. He sort of appears to be talking to other people around him.
But there are no other people around him.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
What? Oh, I'm not talking to anyone. She thinks I'm talking to someone. What kind of loon is she?
Oh my god. So sorry, how long did you think that you've been here?
How low? Let's see. What was it? Quiet down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Carry the 1, 5. 150 years.
Oh my word! Are you
Give or take.
a human mortal? That's a long lifespan.
Yes, I once was human. Yes, I mean, I think you can still call me human. Can you still call me human? No, I wasn't asking you. Oh, everyone, stop talking at once, please. We have company. Yes, I can still classify as human, I guess you would say.
Do you know how I got here?
Well, by ship, I suppose. I suppose you crashed with the other folks.
And other than those 7 on the beach, have you seen anyone else?
Oh, I see things and people, but I try to not talk to people. But you seemed all right.
I don't know how I got here, who I am. I'm quite lost.
Oh, you'll get used to that.
Oh no.
But tell me, you wouldn't happen... No, I wouldn't think so. You're not in league with that big fellow, are you?
The captain?
Captain? So you are one of his crew?
Well, I think I remember being on his ship, but I've lost so much memory. I don't know.
He reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out a little shard of purple gem.
I would like to pull out my shard of purple gem.
And as you do, your mind sort of flashes back. So you're carrying a bowl of soup through the ship. You're avoiding sailors running left, right, and centre. They're just busy tending to their tasks, and the ship is sort of rocking, and you're still trying to
How
deal
many
with
sailors? Are there 7?
There's a few more than 7.
Okay.
But they do appear to be wearing the same outfits as the ones you've already encountered. And you also, the ship is rocking more and more, and you remember thinking that it just keeps getting worse since you started. Yeah, than since you started your journey, that the seas just keep getting rougher and rougher. Finally, you make it to the captain's cabin, and you knock on the door, and you hear a faint voice. So you're like, all right, cool, I'll go in. So you proceed into the captain's cabin, and as you do, you see the captain behind his desk. And he appears to be holding what looks to be a giant coconut-sized purple gem. And he appears to be talking to himself. And he looks up at you as you sort of swing the door open. He looks startled and quickly hides the gem. I thought I told you to knock first. His expression goes really dark and he's basically staring daggers at you, and you feel like he's about to just cut your throat right then and there. But after a few moments, it fades and a big smile comes up on his face again. And he's like, my soup. He's like, brilliant, bring it over. So you bring it over and put it on the table, and he takes a big whiff of it. He's like, and as he does, you sort of notice a map on the table as well. Map of a little island with an X towards the center of the island with the words cave scribbled in it. He sort of notices and he sort of puts his plate over the map, and he sort of
delicious plate of soup.
Yeah, and he sort of waves your way, so you go, all right. And as you're walking out, you hear his voice become stern again, and he says, Josephine?
My name!
And you turn back, and that same deadly look has come over his face again. You won't tell anyone what you've seen here, right? And you sort of nod nervously that you won't tell, and you leave the cabin, and that's where the memory ends. Well, you appear to have one of these too. I guess that's what saved you. Yes, that makes sense. Ah, brilliant.
Do you know what this is?
Well, something special. I know that much. Saved my life all those years ago. Yes, yeah. But other than that, no, I have no idea.
Oh. I remembered my name.
Oh, really?
I'm Josephine.
Josephine. What a wonderful name. I wish I could remember my name. Oh, well. Well, it's nice to meet you, Josephine.
Very excited about that.
You can call me Hermit.
Herbert?
Hermit.
That feels right to you?
Yes.
All right. If you decide on a different name, if you remember anything, let me know. But for now, I will call you Herbert.
No, Hermit.
Oh, Hermit.
Herbert.
My apologies.
Oh, Herbert.
Stupid name.
Who would call themselves Herbert? What a name.
I thought it was your name.
Well, you were wrong. So he sort of hands over a fish to you as well. And he sort of glances at your hand where you were bitten.
Hermit, is there anything you can do to help me?
Oh, don't worry about that.
What about this large gash in my shoulder? Or the stab wound in my abdomen?
What gash? What stab wound?
Oh no.
You look down.
Everything else is healing.
You notice that the gash on your arm has now gone, as well as the stab wound in your abdomen.
Is the bite getting worse, or is it about the same? Because I did expect it.
The bite isn't getting worse, but the teeth marks are still there. It almost looks completely healed apart from the teeth marks. And at that point, the hermit says, don't worry about it, and he pulls open his shirt, and you can see like several bites along his shoulder.
Thank you, Hermit. You've helped me feel so much better.
And he's like, as long as you have that, you'll be fine.
Okay.
As he points to the gem.
All right. Well, Hermit, have you seen any caves in the area.
Ooh. Yes. Yes, I've seen a cave towards the middle of the island.
What
Very
direction is that?
Which way? That way? No, that way.
I have a compass. You can give me directions.
What? South, east, west? I mean, they're saying west, and he's saying north, and you don't even know what the elephant's saying. But I always try and avoid that place. I don't know where it is, but I know it gets even colder around that area. If you want to go to it, I don't know why, just follow the heebie-jeebie vibes.
Okay. The vibe check.
And he sort of retreats back a bit after talking about that.
Right, well, I think I'd like to try and regain some energy and eat some fish.
Mm-hmm.
Hermit, is there anything else you can tell me about this island?
Well, just death resides here.
Oh dear.
It's a death island.
Is this purgatory? I'm so frightened.
Be terrible if it was purgatory, wouldn't it? But no, I don't think this is purgatory. This is something much, much worse.
Oh no. All right. Well.
So after you eat fish, you feel quite energized.
Oh, good. Yeah, energy fish. All right. Well, I feel like I should just explore a bit more. I suppose walk further in toward the forest.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll get you to roll a d6 for me.
3.
Okay. So as you walk around, sort of stumbling through the forest again, before you know it, the heebie-jeebie vibe has gotten a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of hours later, you do find yourself standing in front of a cave.
Oh dear.
You didn't even really realize where you were walking, but it sort of drew you there.
Okay. Is there any way of getting a light source? Can I get a torch? Probably not.
Get your roll d4.
D4. I got a 1.
So there's nothing out in the open or anything like that. You don't really have like a flint or anything like that to create a fire. But you can sort of see flickering light deep within the cave.
Well, I'm going to try my darndest to sneak that way, going very slowly, making sure that my feet are on a solid surface before I put my weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that it's not slippery. All that good survival instincts.
All right. I'll get you to roll d6 for me.
All right. 4.
4? Okay. So as you're slowly making your way through the cave, it's pitch black. There is that sort of dot of light in the distance, and you seem to be making your way further and further in there as the light's getting brighter and brighter. Eventually, after about 5-10 minutes of walking, you can now see pretty dimly in the area.
Any people around?
No, but you can hear muttering. Okay. A lot of muttering coming further in. Would you like to continue forth?
I would. I'd like to sort of try and remain as in the shadows as I can, but I would like to try and get as close as I can.
All right, so we'll go d6 again.
2.
All right, so as you're walking through, the cavern becomes quite light now, and as you walk out of the tunnel that you're in, this massive open cavern that you come into. That muttering you heard as you're getting closer and closer is getting louder and louder. Inside this giant cavern, there's maybe 20, 30 zombies, all facing towards one point, and they appear to be in like a bowing, praying, like up and down, sort of chanting.
It's the etching
Area. And the area where they're all praying to is a giant altar. On top of the altar is the glowing purple crystal that you saw the captain with.
But there's no cracks, no shattering, nothing out of that?
You can't really tell from this distance.
Okay.
And as you've still looking, the captain is also there, standing on top of the altar with his back to the stone, sort of with his arms outstretched at this giant carving of... It appears to be the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
And
does the captain look more like he is praying or preaching?
He looks like he's like praising. He's like leading the chant.
Yes, so preaching.
As you looking upon this scene, your mind flashes again. So you're on the beach of this island with what's left of the crew. You remember the ship, as it was sailing towards the island, the waves were getting too rough, and the ship actually veered into some jagged rocks on the side of a cliff, and it broke in half, and a lot of crew died in that crash. And so it was about a crew of 25 people. And when you're on the beach, there was 12, not including the captain. But
12 left alive?
Yeah, including you.
Okay.
And so the captain was there, and he looked pretty distraught and upset. And he told everyone to wait by the beach while he goes and searches for more survivors. And he goes off alone into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
You guys try to figure out you need shelter and some food. So because you're the cook, a couple of people went off with you. And the rest sort of tried to gather wood to build some sort of shelters.
How many people came with me?
2.
Okay. How many went to the shelters?
So there were 7 on the beach, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Just trying to figure out which group the beach zombies are from.
Yeah, so there was still the rest, so only 2 went with you.
Mm-hmm.
Which left the rest on the beach. So to your recollection, there was still what?
So there was 12 alive, including me?
9. Yeah, including you. So that means there would have been 9 on the beach.
Okay.
So clearly there is some missing. So there they stood and sort of gathered stuff for that. As you were looking for food, that's where you sort of came upon the altar.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of drew you in. And at the bottom of the altar was that shard.
I took it.
The purple gem. And so you've looked at it and you're like, I could probably sell this when we get back to land. So you've put that in your pocket. Okay. And as you've sort of done that, you can hear the screaming of the other 2 men that were with you. And as you've turned around to them, this giant purple wave of energy has just swept across the entire island. And as it sort of went over you, that's when you blacked out.
Okay. Terrifying. So I'm back in the cave. I don't know whether I should make myself known. Is there a way I can get closer to the altar without alerting them to my presence? How many did you say were chanting?
So there's about 30
That's so many.
zombies. And plus the captain. There does appear to be a ledge sort of leading around the top. So the tunnel where you've come out, there's steps leading down, and all the zombies are down the bottom of those steps in this big cavernous area. And from the tunnel, you could probably get onto the ledge, and that appears to stretch around the entire cavern. So essentially, you could get above that area.
I think I'd like to try and do that.
Yeah? I'll get you to roll a d8 for me.
4.
Hang on, let me grab mine.
What are you doing?
All right, so you've managed to get up on that ledge and you're slowly maneuvering your way around. And you're pretty much almost above where the captain is.
How far down is it?
It's maybe a 10-foot drop.
That's not too bad. Can I throw my neck dagger at him?
It's a very sort of narrow ledge.
Yeah,
you can give it a go.
I don't want to overbalance. No, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah?
I'm going to try and throw my neck dagger at his head.
All right. I'll D20.
Oh no. I mean, I get it, but oh no. 15.
So you've managed to actually maneuver yourself into a good position. So as you've done that, you've let loose the dagger. At this point, he's turned his back towards the zombies, and he's sort of chanting towards them now. And it's like bang, right on target, and like lodges in the back of his head. And as it does, he sort of stumbles forward and pushes the altar which the gem is on, and the gem sort of shakes and falls down to the ground and cracks a little. And at this point, everything stops. The zombies instantly stop the chant at once, and it becomes deadly quiet.
Are they looking at me or looking at the gem?
No, they've sort of stopped completely mid-chant, as if they're frozen.
Okay.
As that's happened, the ledge you're on has cracked a little.
Oh dear.
And with you throwing it, you've sort of gone off balance, and the ledge is cracked underneath. But because it's on a curve, you sort of slid down. Okay. So now you're on the same sort of level as the captain.
Okay.
And as you sort of picked yourself up, Did
I drop my swords?
No, you've still got your swords.
Okay.
As you've sort of picked yourself back up, you realise the captain is still standing there.
Did he freeze as well?
And he turns around.
No!
And he looks at you, perplexed, as he reaches behind his head and plucks out the dagger from his head and looks at it. It's like, well. This is interesting. How did you survive?
I didn't.
There's something odd about you, Josephine. What is it?
There's something odd about you, Captain! You tell me first!
Well, I mean, I do believe in fate, and you must be here for a reason. Maybe we can see eye. Fine, I'll tell you what's going on. Well, as you've gathered, there's a lot of zombies around here. These zombies in here were my original crew. Back around 150 years ago, roughly. You see, when I was younger, I was obsessed with immortality. I wanted it all. I mean, who doesn't? You look like you even might want a taste of it.
Yes.
So I, went in search of it. I looked everywhere until I stumbled upon a particular island. This island. It was said to have worshipped death. So, after a lot of looking, I eventually found this island. And I found the native people here. They seemed young and healthy. As I explored more, I realized they had been here for centuries, alive and well. All because they worshipped death. He points at the carving behind you. Now they would raise their dead to be healthy and worship death in a kind manner. However, apparently there was something wrong with what I wanted. And when I prayed to death and asked for immortality, he did grant it, but at a price. Everything on the island died. And their life force became my life force, and I absorbed it. So I come back here every 100, 200 years with a crew and absorb their life force. However, I don't know how you managed to survive. You should have died with the rest.
Perhaps I am also an immortal that comes to this island every 200 years.
I'll get you to roll a d6 on that.
It's a 2.
Josephine, you're only a cook. It'll take more than that to pull one over on me. Something... there it is. He looks down at your pockets. You have a slice of the gem, don't you?
No.
Well, I'm not one to share my immortality. And he draws his sword. I'm going to take that gem off you now. And you'll become one of my zombie horde. And he rushes towards you.
I would like to defend myself, please. With my double swords.
Alright, I'll get you to roll a d10.
10. Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. 8!
8. So as he rushes towards you, you sort of defend, you sort of parry off one of his blows, and you manage to slice his ribs as a follow through with your other sword. And he goes off balance and sort of dodges back, but he doesn't seem fazed by this at all. In fact, he laughs a bit and looks down, and his wound closes up.
I'm trying to get him just away from me. Obviously, he's not gonna die. But what I'd like to do is push him further away so I can get to the large gem that fell.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, as you've sort of done that, you've now switched positions, so you are closer.
I'm closer.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is use one of my swords and stab the gem.
Stab the gem?
All of my strength.
All right, I'll get you to roll a d6.
Got a 1.
So you've gone up and you've pulled your sword down. It's sort of chipped it, and you sort of deflected off it, but it's sort of made a chip in the gem. And as you've done that, you hear him yell out in pain.
Okay. What I'd like to do is put that chip in my shoe. Tuck it into one of my boots. So that if he gets my actual gem piece, I still have a piece.
Okay.
And then I would like to try and stab it again.
Okay, so you've done that, but as you're putting that in your shoe, he's gotten back to his feet and he's charging towards you. As he does, you can actually see that part of his face is now cracking and glowing purple a bit.
Alright, I'll do it quick as I can. Try and stab again.
Alright, I'm going to do a d20 this time.
20, no! 20, no! 12!
So as you've gone to do that, you've brought it down. It's lodged in the gem, but he's tackled you at the same time and pushed you away. And your sword is now stuck inside the gem.
But I've still got my other sword?
Yeah, you've still got another sword.
Alright, can I try and use that sword to at least just sort of get him off me?
Yep, roll a d6 for me.
5.
Alright, so as you do, you sort of move your hilt and you smash him in the side of the face. And he yells out in pain again, and he sort of tumbles off to the side, off you.
Alright, I gotta try and scramble, get back to that gem.
Yep. Roll a d4.
4!
Alright, so you scramble and you manage to make it to the gem.
Right. If I lift the sword, the gem comes with it. It's jammed,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, what I want to do then is do that, lift it, but then smash it down so that the sword's penetrating further into the gem.
Alright, d6.
4.
So you lift it up and you smash it down with all your might, and the gem just shatters. And a bright purple light fills the cavern. As it does, you hear all this sort of wailing and screaming and all sorts of horrible noises. As you look around, the light envelops all the zombies and they just sort of shrivel up and turn to dust. And then the light starts to sort of swirl around the captain as he's screaming. And he's cursing you. He's like, "No! How could you? You idiots!" And he screams and he just bursts apart in purple light.
I did it.
And everything falls silent once again.
Okay, so how am I still alive? Does the cave still give me the vibe?
No, the vibes are gone.
Vibe check's gone? Alright.
The vibe check is gone.
Alright, can I...
And as you sort of look around, you sort of notice you got scratched up a bit during the fight.
Yeah, it's not healing?
It doesn't appear to be healing.
Alright. Do I have a bag or anything? A pocket?
No, you got pockets.
Okay. Could I try and just sort of scoop up as much as the shattered gem as I can, put it in my pocket?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to try and get back to the hut area.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can find Hermit.
All right, so as you're sort of walking out of the cave, you sort of walk towards the light. The light seems a lot brighter now. As you walk out, the bad vibes which were there are no longer there. It's actually quite warm out now.
Lovely.
The sun is shining brightly and it's actually showing now. And outside the cave is the Hermit.
Hermit!
And he walks up to you and he says, well done indeed. You did an excellent job, Josephine. May I have the shards, please?
Yes, you may. I empty out my pocket. I hand him my original shard.
And your boot shard?
I'm going to keep my boot shard for a second.
So he sort of looks at you and he says, is this everything?
Before I give you the last piece, Hermit, I would like to ask if you know what's going to happen once I give you it.
Life is a mystery, dear girl. We never know what's going to happen, but I can assure you, you will be safe. You have my promise on that.
I trust Hermit. I'm going to give him my boot shard.
So as you give him the boot shard, he now has all the little broken shards, covers his hands in it, purple glow, and the sphere forms completely new again in his hands. And he tucks it back in his pocket. He's like, thank you very much, Josephine. And he sort of stands up. He was sort of crouched down before it. He stands up. And something appears to be very odd about him. He seems to be a lot younger than he was before. And his voice is changing. He's like, Josephine, what you have done for me, I will never forget. You have aided me this day. And he sort of taps his cane on the ground, and it transforms into a scythe. And he's like, that man had me captured for many, many years, stuck on this island. And now, thanks to you, I'm free again. So thank you, Josephine. You have aided me this day, and I am in your debt. Thank you.
Anytime, Death.
He sort of whacks his cane on the ground, and he disappears. And you sort of fall asleep.
Lovely.
And that's where we'll leave it.
Yay! I saved Death! I did it!
But yes, well done. You managed to save Death.
Thank
Evil
you.
Captain. Well done.
Good.
Well, excellent. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Brittany. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. But yes, log on to Woodcarver Gaming, and you can vote for next week's session with what it will be and the character trait.
Better dice than I had today.
Get some better dice. And yeah, join in next week where there'll be another session of Amnesia. Thank you for watching.